to one and all. I welcome you all on the behalf of Ramakrishna Vivekananda Vedanta Bhavadhara Satsanga and its educational and cultural unit, Sri Sarada Sahitya Kala Vijnana Mandiram. We welcome our special guest, revered Pravrajika Atmadipa Prana Mataji, with humble regards. I hope everyone is well and healthy. I would suggest all to keep following all the safety precautions during this pandemic. With no further delay, I like to start our study circle with holy prayers. Shambhavi Ganguly, our student, will do Shanti Mantra. She learns Sanskrit and Vedic Mantra chanting here. After that, Vaishnava will do Holy Trio Pranam Mantra. He also learns Sanskrit here. Now, Shambhavi, please unmute yourself and do Shanti Mantra, please.
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावति तमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम।
Vaishnav, please unmute yourself.
महोदय। ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवी रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। ॐ नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे।
Thank you, Vaishnav and Shambhavi. Jai Ramakrishna. Now, children, we will do Omkara chanting and meditation. Everyone sit straight. Come to Jnana Mudra. Keep Jnana Mudra in your hands. Okay? Everyone, I can see everyone. Sit straight. Very good. Sit straight. Now, everyone, close your eyes. Everyone, close your eyes. Yes. Now, all of we are going to chant Omkara 3 times. And after that, also you remain in closed eyes and keep your Ishtadaiva, the ideal, in your heart and try to concentrate on him. Remain in closed eyes. Now let us all chant together Omkara 3 times. Don't open your eyes until we tell. Be in closed eyes. Sit straight. Remain in closed eyes.
Harihi Om. Now we will finish our meditation with a Shanti mantra. Namaskar Sthitihi.
Then everyone, Namaskara Sthitihi.
Yuti Diti, unmute yourself. Yuti Driti, you will repeat after me, and others can also repeat, but in mute. Yuti Driti, are you ready?
Amahoday.
Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya
Asato ma sadgamaya.
Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya
Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya.
Mrityorma Mritangamaya
Mrityorma amritangamaya.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Harihi Om Tat Sat
Harihi Om Tat Sat.
Shri Ram Krishnarpanamastu.
Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you, Dhriti. Please mute yourself. Now, Adrita Bhagini, our member, will introduce our organization.
Jai Ramakrishna. Namaste to all. Ramakrishna Vivekananda Vedanta Bhavadhara Satsanga is a spiritual group of like-minded devotees located in Palta, North Chobbish Parganas, West Bengal. Keeping spirituality at its center, the small but resolute group of dedicated followers of Holy Tayo strive to ensure that all their activities revolve around the core principles of teachings of the Holy Trio, which is also our nation's twin ideal, that is renunciation and service. These are similar to the motto of Ramakrishna Mission also, that is Atmana Moksharthanam Jagat Hitaya Cha, which means that the true inner spiritual development is to be achieved through doing seva for the good of the world. A seva hinged on renunciation and selfless service for people who are nothing but living God. In this core organization, regular satsanga is conducted every week with the study of Holy Trio scriptures, books, and other spiritual and character building literatures, yoga, meditation, bhajan, chanting, etc. Special worship and festivals are also observed here for welfare of the members and spiritual seekers as well. This parent organization is a spiritual guidance of all the units running under this title. The activities of the parent organization have made divided into two units. The units are Sri Sharada Sahitya Kala Vijnana Mandiram and Vivek Swadeshi unit. Sri Sharada Sahitya Kala Vijnana Mandiram is an educational and cultural unit. This unit is trying to empower the youngsters with knowledge, man-making, character building, and above all, to preserve our great age-old culture and tradition. At present, this institute is providing training for classical dance, Sanskrit language, Vedic mantra chanting. Regular study circle for youth is also conducted for welfare of students, and they are being introduced with meditation, bhajan, chanting, yoga, Ayurveda, Vedic science, our Indian tradition, history, glorious lives of different nations, great personalities and patriots, and many more. Spiritual and educational excursions, various cultural programs, get together, games, sports, social programs like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, tree plantation also have been occasionally performed for welfare of our students. Our another unit, that is Vivek Swadeshi unit, is now dedicated to promote Swadeshi agriculture, cottage industries, and other locally based small scale industries and many other Swadeshi practices to encourage youth entrepreneurship towards building a self-reliant India, which is the vision and dream of Swami Vivekananda. In these models, Swadeshi farming, only desi breed of seeds, biofertilizers, and biopesticides are used, and Indian traditional methods are strictly followed there. Moreover, this organization is in various occasions carries out service activities by distributing foods, clothes, blankets, books to people in need within our limited capacity. Now, most of our activities are being done through online mode only due to this COVID pandemic. We hope with the grace of Holy Trio and with the wish of all admirers of Holy Trio, the work of this institute will be sustained long. Jai Ma, Jai Ramakrishna, Jai Swamiji.
Dhanyawada Adrita Bhagini. Jai Ramakrishna. Today we are having a special guest amongst us. I am so privileged to introduce her. Her holy, affectionate, and enthusiastic presence is always highly vibrant and joyful. She has always been an inspiration to the youth. Her unending enthusiasm, dynamic personality, and knowledge in various diverse fields have guided and inspired many to follow the ideals and the path of karma shown by Swami Vivekananda. She is none other than most revered Pravrajika Atmadipa Prana Mataji of Sri Sarada Math Dakshineshwar. Revered Mataji is closely associated with Nivodhata, the bi-monthly journal published by Sarada Math. We are extremely fortunate and blessed to have such a great soul as our guest in our study circle. We hope that our students here are blessed and will be benefited by her divine spirit. We heartily welcome and offer our humble pranams to revered Mataji. Now I humbly request revered Mataji to shed some light of knowledge with us. Mataji.
Namaste. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, Mataji. Pranam Mataji.
Pranam Mataji.
Namaste. Om Vedatmanaya Vidmahe Hiranyagarbhaya Dhimahi Tanno Brahma Prachodayat. Om Yathagne Dahika Shakti Ramakrishne Sthitahiya Sarva Vidya Swarupam Tam Saradam Pranamamyaham. So this is the modern age. So we all have to meet through gadgets. We can hopefully after the pandemic is over, we will meet directly. So in spite of all the flowery adjectives and praises which have been showered upon me, let me tell you that I am a very, very ordinary person, but there's a difference in me. So what's the difference? It's just that I love Swami Vivekananda. And Swamiji, if somebody loves Swamiji, naturally they will get all enthusiasm, all everything, whatever you want to do in your life. So because I have to address youth, and I'm not very sure how many of them will understand me, so it will be very nice if they can interact with me in between, in case if they do not understand anything, because I'm not able to see their faces, I can just assume that they are understanding me. So in case if they have any doubts, let them be free, and they can ask me, okay? And so I would like to say something from our olden days. So Swamiji always wanted us to remember our past. And our past, we are very, very lucky because we have a very glorious past. Every nation has its own past, but the difference between others and us is that Swamiji has put it in a very beautiful way. When others were busy hunting animals in forests, they didn't even come out from their savage state. Then we were experts in using iron. I think many of you would have seen or at least heard of that iron pillar in New Delhi, which has not rusted even now after so many years. So we were experts in each and every field. So naturally, we are having a very glorious past. So that past we have to remember. Why should we remember? Because once we remember our glorious past, we will strive to come up to that mark. For example, if somebody is like say a very good tennis player, now if he has a son or daughter, naturally they will like to be an expert in that tennis field. Otherwise, I remember my music teacher telling her daughter that you are my daughter, you should sing very well. And I expect more from you than from others. Like nowadays, we have many people, even foreigners, they are interested in our country, in our culture, in our heritage. They all come to us, they visit our country. You can find innumerable people learning Bharatanatyam, Odissi, Kathak, learning Sanskrit, especially in Germany, France, and you all know Swamiji visited America. So even in America, Europe, you have many people, many foreigners interested in our culture and heritage. So they are trying to learn our culture and heritage. Now, if Mother India was there, she is there, but I'm assuming that she has taken a form. She's telling us that, look, I have many more children coming to me from outside countries. They all want to learn from me. I'm very happy. They're learning myself. When they are studying me, they are learning the richness I have to offer them. But I expect more from you because you are my child. So being an Indian, I think it is very important for us to study our culture very closely and try to imbibe as many as good things we can from our culture. Say, for example, I'm not asking you to be a singer, a dancer, an artist, an orator, a painter, everything rolled into one. It's not possible. But there are some basic values in our culture, very interesting virtues, very wonderful values which we have to cultivate. It's our birthright. So that's the point which I want to tell you. And another thing is, Swamiji again and again repeated the importance of Upanishads. He used to say that you all know that Swamiji was a wonderful speaker, right? He has given many lectures outside and many people would try to take it down, but they would just, their hands will pain. They used to keep down the pen and they used to listen enthralled to Swamiji's words. He used to speak so wonderfully. Well, anyway, so whatever he said, it touched their hearts. Why? Because the truths which he spoke was from the Upanishads, and these truths were eternal. That's what Swamiji told again and again. Why we should study the Upanishads? Because the truths which are there are applicable always. Like I am studying something in my second standard, how to write A. You learn that handwriting. My handwriting was very worse. It's nice that I learned computers. Otherwise, I was always scolded for having a very bad handwriting. Well, so when I used to practice, I used to write A, B, C, D, etc. and 1, 2, 3. So I learned it in KG or class 1 maybe. And now I am a grown-up person giving lectures and all to you. But still, I'm using the same letters, A, B, C, D, right? So it's something like that. So what I learned in my early age, it's applicable even now. Likewise, these truths which are told in the Upanishads are not obsolete. Don't think that, oh, Upanishads were told by rishis who lived long ago. Even my grandfather is younger to them, right? They are so old. The rishis were so old. They used to live in such an era and they are all backdated. No, not like that. Whatever they said, they are applicable. They are equally true even today. So that's the beauty of Upanishads. And today I'm going to tell you a very interesting story. What's that story? This story teaches about pronunciation, importance of pronunciation. Now, what's the big deal about pronunciation? So before I joined this class, I heard you are all learning Vedic chanting. That's wonderful. That's really very nice, because chanting is different from the ordinary words we use. These words uttered by our rishis are, we can compare them with atom bombs. What does an atom do? Once it's broken, it gives out great energy, right? We have electricity, we can use atomic energy in many creative ways, and again we can also use it for destructive purposes. But now I'm just giving you an example of the creative side of the atom. The atom, once it explodes, it gives a lot of energy. So likewise, these words, these Vedic words which you are chanting, they will give you a lot of energy. It will fill you with a spiritual energy. Like we have many energies, we have physical energy. There are some who are very strong. There are expert boxers. If you just can't stand in front of them, they'll just hit and punch 5 to 10, and in a moment, all will be down. Okay, then there are some people who have tremendous mental strength. Okay, but there's another strength, which is the spiritual strength. So this spiritual strength you get by uttering these mantras, Vedic mantras. Okay, so now this story, you all have heard of Kumbhakarna, right? Ravana, he's a very popular person. So Ravana had a brother, he is Kumbhakarna. Now what happened, this Kumbhakarna, when he was young, he started to do a very difficult penance. So why should you do penance? If you do penance, it is somewhat like you do a work and you get the results for it. Like if I do a work, if you go and work in an office for 30 days, at the end of the 30th day, on the 31st day, you get your salary. Your boss can't say, just get out, I won't give you the money, because you have worked for 30 days, right? So similarly, if you do a penance, then the devatas, we are Hindus, right? So we believe that we have devatas guarding us. They are all like somewhat like our managers, all manage. One is managing the fire, the sun is managing the heat energy, and you have Varuna managing the rain energy, etc. So like that, we have many devatas who are guarding over us. So now there is a chief of all devatas, that is the Indra, and you have another person on top of everyone, that is Brahma. He has created everybody. So when this Brahma created us, he has told us that if you do some work, you will get the result of that work. So if you do a penance, you are going to get the results of that penance. You will always get, like gods, are gentlemen. They always keep their words. They don't just tell lies. They will not say that, okay, I will give you, if you do a penance, I will give you this, and then they won't say, oh, I won't give you. They won't say like that. They always give you whatever you, even if you don't deserve, they will give you, just because you have earned it, right? So this Kumbhakarna started to do very hard penance. He stood in one leg, then he stopped eating. Now you and me, we can't survive without food. Even though we can fight with, maybe you fight with your mother, I don't know. When I was small, I used to, if that was the greatest weapon I used to have, I used to tell my mother, I won't drink this milk if you don't give me a chocolate. Like, so I think all of you would have done like that. But in old days, these demons were very strong-willed, so they can fast for days and years. So this Kumbhakarna, he started fasting for days and days and days. And then fire started to emit out from him. It's not an ordinary fire, because if an ordinary fire emits out of humans, we will be just burnt ashes. But this is the fire emanated out of tapasya. So he did penance, and so that penance started to emanate from, that fire started to emanate out of him. And what happened? All the gods, they are sitting on chairs, right? But their chairs are not ordinary wooden chairs. Their chairs are heavenly chairs. Beautiful golden chairs with gems studded on them. Well, anyway, they are sitting there, and suddenly they are finding it very hot. What happened? No, their seats are getting heated up because Kumbhakarna is doing a very severe penance. Okay, so now they can't sit anymore comfortably. So they went and told Brahma that please go and see what's happening. Now you know, you can, gods have a superpower. What's that power? They know how this person's, whether he's good or whether he's bad. So you cannot allow a bad person to get something very good. If he gets that, if he gets the control of a bad person, gets control of even if it's a good thing, then it's going to result in a lot of suffering for good persons. Okay. Generally, bad people group with bad people, good people group with good people, and bad people cannot just stand good people. So if bad people group together and if they have a powerful weapon, then it's very difficult for good people to survive. And so what the Devas did, because when they saw Brahma traveling, let's assume that Brahma, he had no cars like us, right? So, and this Kumbhakarna was doing penance in a very remote place. So how will Brahma go there? So Brahma climbed up on the swan. I am assuming this. Saraswati had a beautiful white swan, so Brahma went on top of that and he went to give boon to the devil. Now, what the Devas did, they were very scared. So they went to Mother Saraswati and they prayed to her, Mother, please help us. Now, this Kumbhakarna is going to, he has done his penance and Brahma is going to give him boon. And we know what he wants. What he wants is eternal. But he will not die. He wants to be there for ages. So he is going to ask for something very terrible. And now only you are there who can save us. Please, Mother, please save us. Now, Mother Saraswati, you know, always gods help those who are good. They are impartial. They treat both the bad and good equal, but they want the bad to reform themselves. You cannot just be a bad person and then expect why God didn't do this for me. No, God will always support those who are virtuous, those who are right, those who are correct. Okay. So now Mother Saraswati said, okay, don't worry, I will make an arrangement for you. And what she did, she just went. And where does Mother Saraswati stay? She stays in our hearts and she stays in our tongue. I remember Swami Ranganathananda Ji Maharaj, our President Maharaj of Ramakrishna Math and Mission, his mother once told him, don't use abusive language. Never utter bad words because your tongue is the abode of Mother Saraswati. So Mother Saraswati is there. How many times we use foul language, right? We get very angry and we say all sorts of things. Then whatever comes into my mouth, I say. If I am very small, then I throw things. Whatever things are near my hand, books, pen, pencil, etc., everything I'll throw. And if I cannot throw all those things, I will throw those things from my mouth. So that's not proper. We have to speak very carefully because our tongue is the abode of Mother Saraswati. So Mother Saraswati went there. And Kumbhakarna, he started to ask for the boon. Brahma came and he said, okay, my child, don't do any more penance. You have done your work. Just tell me what you want. And Kumbhakarna was about to say, Nityatva. Nitya means I will live for eternity. Nobody can live for eternity. That's another matter. But I can comparatively live for a very long time. And Mother Saraswati, what she did, she just twisted his tongue. So he said, I want Nidratvam. Nidra means what? You all know that very well. If we don't sleep, we just go mad. So every day, it's a great problem to get out of sleep actually for many of us, right? So this Nidratvam. So, and Brahma immediately, he was just waiting for a chance to just give a boon and escape. And now because this demon asked for something wrong, and even Brahma was like, he was a bit worried. Now what will happen? I am going to, already Ravana has become invincible. He's tormenting all the people in earth. And now with this brother, he will also take another boon like that. So what will I do? So Brahma was very much worried. So when he said like this, Nidratvam, immediately he said, Tathas. Yes, let it be done. So when we were small, we were told by our elders that you must always speak and think good things, because the devas, the gods, are always uttering tatastu, let it be, let it be. So if you say something bad, something wrong, then you're going to get that and you're going to suffer for it for your whole lifetime. So it's better to be very careful and always say good words, good thoughts, so that I am always on the safe side, right? Okay. So as soon as Brahma said Nidratham, what did that mean? As long as Kumbhakarna will live, he will always be sleeping. Now Kumbhakarna felt very bad. He did all such hard penance only to sleep. No, he didn't want to sleep. He wanted to fight with his brother. He wanted to show off his ego, arrogance. Okay, he had many more plans, and suddenly he's being put to sleep. So he was very sad and he begged Brahma, and Brahma said, okay, I will just make a small change. Whatever I give once, I can't take back. I'm a god, right? I'm not an ordinary person that I'll tell you something and I will say, okay, I will not give that. It's not like that. I have given you already, but still I feel bad that you have worked hard for it and now you're going to sleep for the entire lifetime. Okay, I will not let you like that. I'll give you alternate. 6 months you will sleep, 6 months you will get up. So why I told you this story was the importance of pronunciation. Vedic mantras, you have to chant with the proper intonation and you have to be careful while chanting it. So I just want you to be more alert when you are learning your Vedic mantras. Okay, so now this is just one part of the story which I'm going to tell you. The story which I will tell you is of another child. Now, this child was very, very intelligent, brilliant. What happened? But you know what? He was not born. Now, there is a child in his mother's womb, and his mother was wedded to a sage, a rishi, in olden days, in Vedic times. And they lived in a very beautiful hermitage with all green trees, with deers running all around, beautiful flowers blossoming, lotus, and many more beautiful flowers. I don't know the names of Vedic flowers, but we can just take it for granted there were many beautiful and scented flowers that time, and they were all blooming. When nature was in its during Vedic period, the pathashalas are where the schools used to have very scenic situations. Now, unfortunately, only those schools which are in, like say, hill stations, only there we have very scenic situations. Otherwise, we are generally used to having, we are lucky to have a playground. And now we feel sorry for you that you have to be confined in your rooms, but we are very sure that within a few months, this phase will also go away, and provided we are all careful, we will once again enjoy our school life, and again we will meet our friends and run about and enjoy your school life. Well, anyways, so now this little baby who is in its mother's womb, now he was hearing everything. I told you it's a very intelligent baby, so it's in his mother's womb, and the father was teaching Vedas to students. So there were many students, and naturally he was teaching them. And when he was teaching, maybe he was tired, maybe he was not very concentrated, he was a bit disturbed. So he made 8 mistakes when he was teaching and chanting the Vedas. Now, because this child, you all know that a baby stays in his mother's womb for 10 months. So this was the 10th month. So for 9 months, at least let me assume that from 5th or 6th month, the baby started to hear. And because it was very intelligent, it learned everything. You know, in Pathshalas, always there are Vedic classes, right? There are many groups of students. There are some students who will learn basic things. Then there are some students who will learn, like in our school, you have 5th standard, then you have 8th standard, then you have the college, like that. There are many groups of students, and his father used to teach many groups. And this child, this baby to be born to be, he's learning everything. He has learned everything. So when his father made those 8 mistakes, inadvertently maybe the baby spoke from his mother was just sitting there listening to such beautiful discourses which her husband was giving. But she didn't know so much that her husband was making mistakes. So she was just sitting there and listening to it. And suddenly the baby started to speak. What he told, Father, you're making a mistake. You have made not 1, 2, or 3, you have made 8 mistakes. Please do correct them. So now naturally the father was very much upset. Now this baby, he's telling this thing in front of all my students. He's not even respecting me at all. And he became very angry, you know. Now if we become angry and say some 1 or 2 words, nothing happens. But because his father was a rishi, he had power in his words. So he got very much annoyed. And so he cursed that child. What he said, because you pointed out 8 mistakes in my intonation, you are going to have 8 crooked parts in your body. So when that child was born, unfortunately, it was having 8 crooked parts. So it was named Ashtavakra. Okay. Piyali?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Am I audible? And anybody has anything to tell me or ask me? Piyali?
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
I just wanted to know if I'm audible and if whether my time is up or if anybody
No,
has
no,
any.
Mataji, you please continue, Mataji. After your speech, they will ask question, Mataji.
Okay, fine. Then I can speak for 10 more minutes, right?
You can continue as long as you wish, Mataji. Mataji, you are muted, Mataji.
So I have just now unmuted myself. Is it okay?
Yes,
Yes,
yes, Mataji.
Okay. So this is our story of Ashtavakra, who is said to be born. Who is said to be born, and he's so intelligent and bright that he is finding out the mistakes of his father. Okay. But unfortunately, this incident had happened. It's a baby, right? He didn't know it. Actually, this is another thing which we have to learn what to say and when to say. So you cannot, even if you are telling the truth, even if you are telling the correct thing, you cannot be blunt. You cannot be discourteous. You should respect your elders. You cannot just make an object. Many times, you know, this is the problem with younger generation. Maybe an elder person says something which is not so right or something. Immediately, they will just come and say, no, this is not proper. This is not correct. I know the correct thing, like that. So enthusiasm is very good. It's natural that because you are being exposed to more modern things, actually you should be very, very lucky. You know, I consider your group to be a very lucky one. First of all, you have got PLED and others to arrange such a wonderful program for you. Not all get this opportunity. There are many children who don't get such opportunities, but you are having this opportunity. Well, anyway, so this is the thing that even though I know something very well, I should not blurt out like that. I should see the circumstance. I should be respectful. I should be humble. Humility is a very, very great virtue, you know. That characterizes great persons. The more great you are, the more humble you are. You just don't go on saying that I know this, I know this, I know this. Yes, you will get chance when you will say your words, but you cannot be so discourteous to anybody. You cannot insult somebody. Okay, even though they are very close to you. You must not insult anybody. Please remember this. Because when you become big and you will learn more higher principles which the Vedas say, and they say that everybody is ourselves. We are in each and everything. The same Brahman is in every object, sentient or insentient. All these are very high philosophical words, maybe right now for you to understand. But just know this, that I am not supposed to insult anybody. Okay. And so what happened was, now when naturally, because this rishi he is a rishi, right? And previously only merchants used to be rich. Kings were very rich, then merchants were very rich. But an ordinary rishi running a household, a small household, is quite poor. And his wife said to this rishi, look, please arrange for some money, because now we are going to have a big household. Now this baby is going to come down to the earth, to us. It's a blessing of God. But then we have to make some arrangements. Otherwise, it's difficult to run the household. It's the mother who runs the household, right? She manages the cooking, she manages the guests, she takes care of everything from us, from the children, the cattle. There used to be cattle there. They used to give milk, and from there, butter, then you get ghee, and from that there will be havan. So all these things have to be taken care of. Then there are students to take care of, and these guru matas, they used to be called guru matas. They never differentiated between, oh, this is my child and this is another person's child, so I will not give him so much food. Not like that. Everybody, they used to handle everybody. They used to deal with the same motherly affection with everybody. All students were their children. So she requested her husband to go and get some money. So now what he did, he went to King Janaka. Why he went to King Janaka? Janaka was a very, very generous king, and he used to arrange a lot of sabha in the sense debates. And whenever in olden days, kings used to conduct yajnas, sacrifices, or they used to arrange for debates to discuss philosophical and spiritual things, so that they will be enriched. So there used to be a lot of occasions like that where many sages will assemble. So this father, he went to Janaka's court to ask for some money. And in that court, there was another scholar, another rishi. His name was Vandini, a very great scholar. He used to know a lot of things. Then there's nothing he didn't know. He knew everything. So when this father went, naturally there was an argument, and King Janaka said, okay, you please, both of you, please discuss. And if you win, I will give you whatever you want. And this father, though he was a very nice person, and I told you that maybe he wasn't so such an expert, so he didn't have so much of command, or who knows why he failed. We don't know why he failed. Many times even experts fail. It's not because that they weren't up to the mark. There are many things to take into consideration. We will know why his father failed, Ashtavakra's father failed at the end of our story. Well, anyway, what happened? This father failed. And this Vandin, it turned out to be that he was a very cruel person. What he did was, he asked this Ashtavakra's father to be drowned. There was a river running nearby, and he said, this person should be drowned because he was defeated by me. Now all were shocked, and this was the way how his terms were. You want money, you defeat me, and if you fail, you're going to be drowned in that river. His father knew it beforehand. So, but he wanted money, and so he went for the debate, and unfortunately he failed, and so he was just drowned. So like that, there were many saints, many scholars, many rishis, many sages who were drowned in the river by this Vandin. And when this news reached Ashtavakra's mother, she was a very noble lady and a very brave one for that. And her relatives told her, please don't tell the baby what happened to his father. And even she felt, no, I will not say that his father died of such an accident, because he will feel very bad. And a mother always takes care of his children, her children. And in this case, this is a very special baby, because she knew that such an intelligent and brilliant baby who could point out his father's mistakes even when he was not born, I should take care of this baby and I should give the best childhood for this baby. So she didn't say anything. Now for 10 years, Ashtavakra didn't know what happened to his father. There were many relatives. There was his uncle. So he thought his uncle, maybe he didn't know. He was born and brought up like that for 10 years. And he learned everything very fast. Such a brilliant and intelligent child he was. And then what happened? At the end of the 10th year, suddenly he found out that his father had an accident. It was not an accident. He was drowned in the river by this Vandin. So immediately he told his mother, I will go to that Vandin. I will go to King Janaka's court and I will avenge for my father. I will not leave like this. I want to know what happened to my father. What did he do to get such a punishment? And he went straight there to King Janaka's court. He took his friend. There was a friend, maybe Uncle Shvetaketu. His name was Shvetaketu. Both friends, they went to Janaka's court. And as soon as they went there, who will allow two boys to get in? There was a very serious debate going on inside, and the gatekeeper knew that the end of this thing, this is not play. You have to be very serious. It's a very serious occasion. So he will not let them in. He said, you are not supposed to go in. You are boys, mere boys, don't go in. And what Ashtavakra said? He said, I'm not a boy. I'm old in wisdom. So I can get in. So this is another thing. The gatekeeper was forced to let him in. Why? Because he proved his words. What did he prove? In India, we respect wisdom. You might be older to me, but if you know a truth, you may be younger to me, you may be younger to me, but if you know a truth more than what I know, I will respect you. That's our culture. So when you become big, don't say that I have become big, I know everything. You are very small to me. I am not going to listen to your words. You are not supposed to say like that. You must be always, again, I will say the same thing, humility. Learn when you find some truth coming in front of you, in spite of whatever medium it is. Any medium, it might be any medium. But if it has truth, then be humble to accept it. The more you learn, the more you do. Okay? So this is how Ashtavakra entered that place. And then the King Janaka found this small boy trying to get in with all his enthusiasm and energy. And he said, don't get in. You don't know the results. You will be drowned in the river if you fail. Don't get in. But he said, no, I am going to get in. I have to go in at any cost. Now see this Purushakara. This is called as Purushakara. Purushakara, what does that mean? I will try. Swamiji has told you, you will know that famous quotation, arise away and stop not till the goal is reached. Till I reach my goal, I'm not going to stop. In spite of all these things, like see, the gatekeeper was not getting him in, letting him go in. Then the king himself, he is warning him because such a small boy, tender looking boy, sweet boy, in spite of him having 8 crookedness in his body, his face is shining with knowledge. So the king is afraid that something will happen to him. So he's saying, no, don't go in. But he says, no, I am going to go in. So how will the king allow him? So the king has asked him some questions. That those questions are very interesting, but I will just tell you one question. Like he was asking him, what does not close his eyes even while sleeping? And Ashtavakra, he had answers in his fingertips. He's telling, I know, it's the fish which does not close its eyes even while sleeping. Then the king is asking, okay, what does not move? Then what does not move after birth? He says, no, the egg does not move after birth. It should, the small fledgling which will come out, it will develop its wings and then only it will hatch the egg. The mother will hatch the egg, then it will come out, then it will try to move. Otherwise, it will not move. Like that, what does not have a heart? He says, stone has no heart. Like that, there were many interesting questions, but then he answered them all and finally he went in and he met Vandin and there was a very interesting debate between those two. And that debate I'm not going to tell you today, but because there's no time, I think I have taken all your time. Well, anyway, finally, Vandin accepted his defeat and he said, okay, I am at I have accepted defeat. Now I will do whatever you say. And Ashtavakra, that small boy, he said, you will also be drowned. Like my father was drowned. You drowned many innocent sages. And so I am going to drown you also. Like that. So then that Vandin said, Please don't mistake me. I am Varuna's son. Who is Varuna? Varuna is the god of waters. So my father was doing an yajna. He is doing an yajna for all these years, and he wanted the best scholars for his yajna, but he couldn't invite them directly. So what he did was, he just asked me to just arrange a debate like this and asked me to defeat everybody and drown them, so that all of them are there. Nobody is dead. All are alive. They are all enjoying my father's hospitality. Now the yajna is also over. You can see them all in front of you. So all those people came out as if they were taking a bath. And Ashtavakra's father also came, and he was so happy to see his son fighting for him, asking justice for himself. And then he embraced his son, and he asked Ashtavakra to take bath in another river. And as soon as Ashtavakra came out, he was all well. There was no crookedness in his body, and he was just fine, like any ordinary boy will be. So this is the story of Ashtavakra. And so what I want to tell you is, please be humble. Just because we get more opportunities than others, because we have more opportunities for learning, for knowledge, see, for gadgets. There are many people, they don't have smartphones, or they don't have current even to access to such online, get access to such online classes. So you must always be thankful for the opportunities you get, and you should be humble. And another thing is, you must never be afraid. You must never think that, oh, this goal is something which I cannot attain to. This is very high. I cannot attain it. If Ashtavakra had thought so, he would have just moved away from the gate. Not like that. From the gate, he went in, he met the king, he met Mandin, and then finally he achieved his goal. So you must have the tenacity to achieve your goals. So this is what I wanted to tell you, and I must thank Piali for giving me an opportunity to meet you all, to talk to you all. Maybe I have spoken a lot, I don't know. So I think you enjoyed my talk. Anyway, I enjoyed speaking to you. So if you have any doubts, any clarifications, you want to tell something, you must. Thanks, Piali. Is it okay?
Thanks to you, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Today we had an opportunity to hear a wonderful lecture from Mataji. As Swami Vivekananda said, here in India, activity prevailed when even Greece did not exist, when Rome was not thought of, when the very fathers of modern European lived in the forests and painted themselves blue. Mataji started her lecture with the necessity of remembering our glorious past. If we remember that, then it gives the chance to strive for that. We know Mataji's lecture will surely be going to encourage in the development of character of children. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation, Mataji, for your great explanation of the Kumbhakarna story, which tells the power of words in the Vedic chanting, which we are doing, and the story of Ashtavakra, which tells why we have to be humble and not too afraid in any situation. You explained these stories to the children in a very simple way. Once again, from the core of our hearts, we express our sincere thanks to you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Now all are free to interact with Mataji. Bacho, yeah, parents of the students can interact with Mataji. Please feel free to ask any question.
Now I am giving the chance to unmute all. So now it will be muted. Your mic will be muted, sister. Okay. Now anyone can unmute yourselves and you can ask the questions to Mataji.
Mataji. Hello.
Yes, continue, beta. Mataji, you are in mute. Pranam Mataji.
Pranam Mataji. I am Ritika Biswas from Palta, West Bengal. I read in class 5-6. I learned Sanskrit and attend study circle in this institute. And I also learned Bharatanatyam here. I want to say something. Swamiji was so fearless from his childhood. How I can overcome fear?
By thinking about Swamiji, you pray to Swamiji that Swamiji, I want to be fearless. Then Swamiji will make you fearless. Okay, that's the simplest way. Whatever you want, ask from him. And Swamiji is very close to you. So you can tell him. You know that story, Swamiji hanging upside down? Do you know that story? Otherwise, you ask Piyali Didi to tell you. When Swamiji was little, then small, he was very mischievous. And he was never afraid of anything. And all were afraid that they will break their hand. Swamiji will break his hands or something like that. So one old man, he was telling Swamiji, there is a ghost here. Bhoot ache ekhane. Oi jane tumi jabe na ekhane. So what Swamiji said, oh, if there was a bhoot jodi thakto kobe amake guard motke dito, bhoot tooth kichu nei. There's no ghost. If there was a ghost, it would have broken my necks and legs much earlier. So why we are afraid is because we think that something bad will happen to us. And many times we don't know that there is a rope in a dark place. So I'm thinking that it's a snake. So I'm shooting and screaming. But actually it's not a snake. It's just a rope. And when light will come, then immediately my fear will go off and I will just think of myself as a clown, what I did. And oh, this is nothing but a rope. Why am I afraid of this like that? So, once you have the light of knowledge, all fear vanishes. So the best way is always, whenever you are afraid of something, think again, why am I afraid of this particular thing? Then you will get rid of fear. And the easiest way is to pray to Swamiji. You tell him, Swamiji, please make me fearless, and you will become fearless. Don't worry. Okay? Anybody else?
Pranam Mataji.
Srija from Chennai,
Okay.
Tamil Nadu, Villivakam. I
Hmm.
have a question.
One by one. Ask question one by one.
Why do
Srija,
we
continue
think that
better.
we cannot do this thing? Example, we are reading Vedas. It is not coming. Why in one thought will come in our mind that we can't do this?
Listen, dear. One thing is, Vedas, as I told you, they were recited long ago. Okay. Now, if you hear even Tamil in Sangha Tamil, there are many poems in Sangha Tamil. Is it not? You have many kavyams are there. Yes, Silapadigaram is there. Manimekale is there. If you can read out one word, one poem from that Silapadigaram or Manimekale, it's very difficult because that Tamil is much different from the Tamil which you speak today. So likewise, this Sanskrit hymns which you are learning from the Vedas, they are very old. That language is bit different. That's why you are not able to get it immediately. But you can get it through practice. The more you become familiar with that, like say, for example, you want to learn a foreign language. Say you want to learn French. So can you learn it in one day? You cannot learn it in one day. But if you persist, you will surely learn it in 2 years or 3 years like that. So in the beginning, you will find this Vedic things difficult, but you can learn by practice. The more you will practice, the more you will learn and the more you will enjoy. Okay.
Thank you, Shiraja. Any other question?
Pranam Mataji, my name is Vaishnav. I'm studying class 5. I stay in Hyderabad, Telangana. So, how many languages do you know, Mataji?
I know English and Hindi and Bengali because I'm staying here in Calcutta. I'm in headquarters. And because I'm in headquarters, I'm posted in, actually I have to go to various places. So I know a bit of everything. I'm a jack of all trades. Okay. And Sanskrit, of course. English. Namaste. English, I know.
Mataji, I have one question. What inspired you to become a Mataji? Probably you have led a life like me some time back. Suddenly, how did you change? How your mind got diverted to completely?
Yeah, this is because of Swamiji, you know. My sister used to tell me, you have been brainwashed by him. But that's correct. Because I learned Swamiji's words, and that inspired me to take such a life. Atmano mokshartam jagadita. It's such a wonderful ideal which he placed before us. And another thing I want to tell you is, maybe this is a new program, but I can take the liberty to address you also. Like I told, Ashtavakra's mother, she was Guru Mata. She was also a householder. But a householder in Hinduism did not mean that you have to be a very, very materialistic person. They were very great persons in householder life also. They were also leading a dharmic life. So that's the ideal which is before us. Everything, even you cannot always, I cannot say that I will eat everything, I won't give anybody else. Like that, Swamiji, during his Parivrajaka days, somebody in West asked him, how did you sustain yourself? Then Swamiji used to say, our mothers are there. They used to feed me. Like that dharmic idea, bhava, is in our culture. So it doesn't mean that, yes, of course, it's a rare opportunity what I got. I have many friends and many very good people who also wanted to be a Mataji, but because of their social responsibilities and other things, circumstances, they couldn't make it. But even today, they are leading a wonderful life. They are following the same ideal. So Swamiji's words inspire.
Any other question, or you can share
Pranam
your...
Mataji.
Yes, please.
My name is Vijay Kumar Mataji. Yeah, actually, I am having some doubts regarding. Sorry. Actually, what I'm going to ask you is today.
Vijay,
Your voice is not being
Vijay,
audible. Can you please send your question in the chat box? Vijay?
Otherwise, you can close your
switch off your
video
video.
off.
Oh, yes.
Video, please switch
Okay.
off your video, then you can.
Is it okay, madam?
No,
Yes,
no,
Am I
it is
audible?
fine.
continue.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I am having some fears and how to overcome them. And one more thing, ma'am, Mataji. Actually, if in front of me there was something wrong, if some people are not keeping masks, I'm not able to question them why all these things are happening.
Now, you know,
Why?
it's very unfortunate that in spite of such repeated requests, and actually what I feel is that to protect yourself is the greatest service you can do to the nation today. Because our
Yeah.
medical staff, doctors and nurses, they are on the verge of breakdown. I personally know many doctors and nurses who are working 24/7, but just grabbing some time, some minimum time for eating and for taking some rest. And again, we ourselves, we have our hospital center. I know brahmacharinis and sannyasinis who are working there. They are working to their utmost capacity to give medical service, medical relief to the people who are affected by this pandemic. But still, if we are so insensitive that we are not wearing masks and other things, then I have no words to say. But if they are, if you can control them, if they are small people, like even if you are friends, and even if you have to become unpopular, you have to tell them, please wear this mask, like that, huh? Because truth has to be told, but you have to tell it in a mild way. You cannot just go on charging them, because once you charge them, that person becomes what do you say, protective. Then he will not listen to. So you have to say in a sweet word, like, see, like this, people are suffering so much, why can't you just wear a mask? Then at least keep a distance, like that. You can try and cajole them into the thing. But if they don't listen to it, then wear a mask and protect yourself. So this is the answer to the second question. And as for the first question, fear comes out of insecurity. Like, I'm not sure of what is going to happen to me, so I am afraid. So this is one thing. And second thing is this pandemic truly, it has given rise to a very difficult situation. Even people who were well off, I should say, higher middle class or rich people, even they are becoming poor because they are losing jobs. They are not they are not able to go out, etc. So what I will only say is to hope for the best, to pray to the divine. There is a divine power. There is a divine power. Actually, I read an article, in our Nibodatta magazine. That gentleman, he travels to Himalayas. He has been there from when he was, says, around 20 years, and now he is 70 or like that. So every year he used to go to the Himalayas, and there once he found a place where people used to avoid that place, and they're taking a very longer route. So he asked them, "Why are you not taking this shortcut?" So they told him that no, once an epidemic happened here, and people died by thousands, and sheep also. They have sheep, no? And from that they make that wool and sweaters and other things. So they have a lot of sheep. So once when I was going in Himalayas, I was in their middle and I had 400, 500 sheep in front of me. Well, anyway, so we avoid that place. So previously when such pandemics used to happen, they were localized. People didn't know that when it was localized, but now because we have become a global community, this is affecting each and every one of us in such a severe manner. But again, since it's a global problem, again people are coming out and trying for solutions in a global level. So we must have faith in that Almighty, so that surely there will be a way out of this dark night, and we will surely come out of that. And before that, we can only fold our hands and pray to the divine. That's the
Okay,
way.
Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes.
Any question? Any more question? बच्चों आप लोग हिंदी या बंगाली में भी क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो.
Jairam
Harsha.
Krishna Mataji. First of all, I'm very grateful, Mataji, for having such a wonderful session. And Mataji, my question is, as students, we do have a lot of concentration issues, like because of which we can't achieve our goal. Can you please suggest us how can we achieve our goal?
Yes, it's a very nice question which you have asked. The first way, and if you want 100% results, then the easiest way, it's not an easiest way, it's difficult, but it will give you 100% results, is meditation. You just, I think Pialidi is teaching you meditation on Omkara for 5 minutes, morning and evening. If you can sit calmly in a quiet place, without TVs, without smartphones, and switching off everything else and sitting in a corner and try to concentrate your mind, you're going to improve your concentration. And secondly, you should know that you should achieve something in life. And if you want to achieve something in life, you have to concentrate. If you don't concentrate, you're not going to get anything. So if you want something, work for it. Like I told you, even these demons, if they wanted power, right? They wanted power for bad purposes, that's different. But they wanted power, and even they had to work hard for it. That's the rule of this earth. If you want to get something, work hard for it. Otherwise, you can't even survive. Today, your parents are there, they are supporting you. But tomorrow, you have to stand up on your own legs. You cannot survive without concentration. So remember that in mind. If I want to get something, I have to concentrate and I have to get my things done, and you have to meditate. If you meditate morning and evening, you will get your results. There will be no concentration issues. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Pranam Mataji. My name is Dhruti Datta. I'm from Bangalore, Karnataka. I study in 7th. I want to ask you a doubt. You told us the story of Ashtavakra. When he was the age of 10, he went to the court and then he won the debate. And then
Yes.
he took a he took a bath in the river, and then all his curved paths were gone.
Yes.
Till then, Didn't anyone laugh at him or something?
Yes, my dear. Yes.
Did he feel bad?
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes. Because even today we go by the appearance of a person. You have said a very nice point, which I missed out. Thank you. Actually, you know what? Always we judge people from their exteriors. Oh, you are black. You are fat. You are short. But we forget to hear what they want to tell us. A person must be judged by his character, by his learning. Is it not? What he wants to say. That when such a brilliant, when it's so unfortunate that such a brilliant child like Ashtavakra did not, but he was lucky to have a friend. Who are you having nearby? Your friend or sister? Well, anybody. If you have your friend nearby, you are a lucky person. And only in school life we make our best friends. They are with us until we become old. School friends are the best. So the Ashtavakra, unfortunately, he was laughed and derided upon, but he proved himself by his vidya. So that's why, vidya is the best thing you can have. Learning is the best thing you can have. You have money, you go outside, somebody steals it and you become poor. But you have vidya with you, you go wherever you go, you are respected by everybody. A very nice list. I liked it.
धन्यवाद माता जी।
प्रणाम माता जी। मैं वर्षा मंडल हूँ और मैं वेस्ट बंगाल के पलता से हूँ। मैं 7th स्टैंडर्ड में हूँ और मैं इस इंस्टीट्यूशन में संस्कृत क्लास एंड भरतनाट्यम क्लास अटेंड करती हूँ। माता जी मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है। माता जी आप सभी क्लास, सब एक्टिविटीज सब कुछ ऑनलाइन हो गया है, तो मुझे कभी कभार इतना सब ऑनलाइन करने का मीन्स इतना सब ऑनलाइन क्लासेस करने का मन नहीं करता। पर यहाँ पे जो संस्कृत क्लास है एंड स्टडी सर्कल है ये बहुत ही अच्छी होती है, इसलिए मैं रेगुलरली अटेंड करती हूँ। पर बाकी सारे क्लास अटेंड करने में उतना भी मन नहीं लगता। उसके ऊपर से तो घर में हम हैं, बाहर भी नहीं जा सकते, दोस्तों के साथ खेल भी नहीं सकते। तो मुझे इस प्रॉब्लम का सलूशन बता दीजिए प्लीज।
वैसे ना मेरी हिंदी बहुत अच्छी नहीं है। हाँ, तो फिर आप
वो बंगाली है।
अच्छी
बंगाली है। Well, anyway, I will try to speak in Hindi. तो क्या है ना, जब आपका तबीयत खराब होता है ना, तब तो आपको अस्पताल में जाना पड़ता है। तब डॉक्टर जो बताते हैं वो तो करना ही पड़ता है ना। आप डॉक्टर को बताएंगे कि मैं ये दवाई नहीं पीऊंगी, मैं ये इंजेक्शन नहीं लूंगी, तो क्या होगा, आपका तबीयत तो जल्दी अच्छा नहीं होगा। तो इसलिए ऐसा एक होता मैंने हम सब लोग को ना, जो हम जो लोग आपसे थोड़ा बहुत बड़ा है, हमको बहुत बुरा लग रहा है, क्योंकि आप लोग जो इस तरह घर में है, सब कुछ ऑनलाइन है, फ्रेंड्स को नहीं देख सकते हो, जो आप बताया ना, एवरीथिंग इज करेक्ट, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते, सिर्फ वेट कर सकते हैं। थोड़ी दिन के बाद है ना, अब तो इतना दिन तो हो गया, तो आज ज्यादा वक्त नहीं है, तो a little more patience बस। फिर स्कूल जा सकते हैं, फिर ऑफलाइन में टीचर्स को मीट कर सकते हैं, सब कुछ होगा, सिर्फ थोड़ा सा पेशेंस रखना पड़ेगा। एक तो धैर्य धरते হবে বাবা। তো অনেক দিন চলেই গেছে, একটুখানি আর কিছু মাস একটু অপেক্ষা করে না, এই দেখতে দেখতে এই দিনটাও চলে যায়। ঠিক আছে?
থ্যাংক ইউ মাতাজি।
Anybody wants to say anything? Please feel free to interact.
Now I think they have enough for today. And overdose, then they will not turn around for the next class. So it's better that we
okay, Mataji.
Mataji.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mataji. So many doubts I was having, and you have solved so many doubts of mine. Still, I am having one doubt, Mataji. While doing some activities, what is happening? I'm getting a doubt whether I'm doing it unselfishly or selfishly. So many things I'm doing. I'm thinking that I'm doing unselfishly, but background it might be selfish thing. How to avoid that?
Let me tell you one thing. Even if it is for selfish motive, it's much better to do good things. Even if you are doing it for, say, for example, you don't know whether you're doing it for name and fame or not. I'm just telling you like that. You might feel that I'm doing all these things for name and fame. Okay. But even then it's better because people are getting benefited out of it. And then if you sincerely want to be unselfish, then you have to pray to Holy Mother. It is she who is giving you the power to arrange such workshops. It's the need of this hour, you know. It's very much needed. So you just don't know the value of the service which you are rendering. It's a very wonderful service which you are rendering. So please pray to Holy Mother and she will guide you in the correct path. So don't worry about it.
Sure, Mataji.
Thanks, Priyan. I enjoyed being here with all of you. That's ठीक.
Mataji, do you have a little more time, Mataji? Because one of our students want to sing a song, Mataji.
Yes, please. Let us sing. Sure.
Shyam Mohan. Shyam. He is from Andhra Pradesh.
Acha.
Say Pranam Mataji.
Pranam Mataji.
Yes, please sing a song for us. We are very eager to hear your song. Sing.
जागो मेरी भारतवासी, समय नहीं अभी सोने का, लेकर संदेश स्वामी जी का, करके कुछ दिखलाने का। जय विवेकानंद, जय जय विवेकानंद। हिंदू मुस्लिम से ईसाई, हाथ में लाने का। हिंदू मुस्लिम से ईसाई, हाथ में लाने का। जय विवेकानंद, जय विवेकानंद, जय विवेकानंद।
Very nice. Thank you. It's a nice song.
Jai Vivekananda song.
Jai Vivekananda. He is from Andhra Pradesh, Visakhapatnam.
Achha.
Learns Sanskrit here.
Very nice. You please encourage them to participate like this. So
Yes,
they will
Mataji.
also get interested in participating.
Yes, Mataji. Another student is there, wants to share a Subhashitam, Mataji.
Okay. You can have at least a closing song so that by turns they will get an opportunity to present themselves.
Okay, Mataji. Neharthi, please unmute yourself.
Ama. नमस्कारः, जयराम कृष्ण, मम नाम स्नेहार्थी, अहं शब्दश्रेणीं पठामि। अहम् एकं संस्कृतं सुभाषितं वदामि। अयं निजः परो वेति, गणनां लघुचेतसाम्, उदारचरितानां तु वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम्। The meaning of the Subhashitam is, this is one's own, this is an other. Such is the count of small minds. To those with great minds, the whole world is his or her own family. Dhanyavadah, Jairam Krishna.
Very nice.
Thank you, Sneharthi.
Dhanyavadah.
Thank you, Mataji. We offer our humble gratitude to Mataji for spending her valuable time with us and for sharing positive thoughts and ideas with us. Mataji, your thoughts entered as seeds into the young students' mind, like seed manifests as a tree. we wish in your near future these thoughts will create an environment to manifest their divinity, Mataji. And
Yes.
we hope we will have Mataji amongst us again and again in this study circle. Mataji, thank you very much. And
Yes,
if you want to
Didi.
suggest something for our study circle or for our activities, Mataji.
No, it's okay. Only thing is you should have some participation from the students also. So now and then if you give them a chance to speak, like
Yes.
you ask them to sing and other, it will be very
Yes.
nice. So they also feel encouraged, you know, whatever they learn, they must present. They
Yes,
must ask.
Mataji.
So in that way, you will also know how far they have learned.
Yes, yes,
So
Mataji.
I really like to be with you all. Thank you, Piyali, and thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji, very much. Mataji,
Thank-
now we will conclude our this study circle with prayer. Mataji. Now, Sankirta, please unmute yourself and do the concluding prayer.
Children, everyone come to Namaskara Sthiti.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु.
Shiraja, please unmute yourself and give the Holy Trio Jayadhani.
जय भगवान श्री रामकृष्ण की जय, जय महामाय की जय, जय स्वामी महाराज की जय, जय भारत माता की जय. जय राम कृष्ण.
And I thank you all the students and all the participants and their parents. And students, you are having a wonderful inquisitive mind, and you have attained the study circle with great patience and with enthusiasm. For that reason, we thank you from the core of our heart, and of course, we thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Didi. Thank you very much.